Merry meet and welcome to Lux Dragon Queen Magic. I'm Taylor and today is our Masculine Monday where we take a look into our Divine Masculine Collective and get a general reading for all of us. And so with that, let's go ahead and get started. And also, no matter how you identify, there may be a message for you here as we carry both energies within us. And so right now we are seeing the Hierophant. I am spirit in nature. I am with spirit in nature. And then you may want to take a screenshot in order to fully read this for your own time. But essentially, this is going to be the Hierophant through and through. The full archetype that we're seeing is that there is this need to draw back into the true tradition, which is being attuned to nature. And that's what we talk about so often here, is needing to find that silence within you so that you can see the self-assurance quieting the world around you so that you can find the self-assurance within you. The Hierophant comes with a saying that the inner wisdom that you seek, the wisdom that you seek is all inside of you. All the questions and answers, they're all within you. You simply need to spend time and allow it to come through and be willing to listen. And so with that, this is a call to be within nature, to allow silence to really permeate your entire being. So that's definitely going to be your theme and the characteristics that you're going to want to be taking on as the Divine Masculine. And then we have some tarot. So we have the Ace of Swords coming through. So right away, what I'm seeing is we're seeing Spirit is asking you to be more willing to have spiritual downloads, to be more willing to have ideas come through, to take that first step into being, I'm hearing like taking that first step into like taking it in solving the riddle. So like in all the confusion that's around you, it's asking you to be the one to grab that sword. And if you've ever heard of like the Gordian knot, how Alexander Great solved it, there's a lot of different things about it, but like one popular story is that he cut through it with his sword, and that was like a different way to solve the riddle of the knot. And so that's kind of like what's coming through right now, is this energy that Spirit is asking you to pick up the sword, to be the one to solve the riddle in a different way. And then we do have some more. And so interesting, we have the Queen of Swords coming out for you. So what this is telling me is that this actually is you embodying this Queen of Swords energy more so, because the Queen of Swords is that internal energy, locking away our more heartfelt nature in order to see our more logical side come through. And so Spirit is saying that you can do this again through nature, and that this is all within your realm. And the reason, again, why we're seeing the Queen is more so because this is an internal moment for you, and it's not really a time for you to be expressing your findings. So if you're having communications issues and you're not really able to, like, you really want to share your ideas that you're coming across, but you're not really finding yourself able to do that, that's really what this energy is just confirming. So there's nothing wrong with the situation, you're simply learning, and then the next step of learning that will be learning how to express it into the external, how to turn the internal into the external, how to navigate Queen energy with King energy. And as I mentioned, you're going to have both within you. That's all part of it becoming more balanced. So this is also something that you're meant to learn, is how to maybe keep your ideas to yourself and maybe spend more time learning to trust yourself and trust your word, and not needing outside validation is something that's going to be very big. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles coming up. So yes, you are taking time to study, you are getting into nature, and you are choosing a topic that is very important to you, that is forcing you to, I'm hearing like certain things have happened in your life that are kind of forcing you to learn new subjects in order to adapt to the situation around you. And that's kind of just going to be your nature in general, is like you have this certain resilience around you. And so that's really what's popping up in here. That's again why we see the Queen of Swords coming in, because you are learning something new, but you are still a master at the helm. So it is just something new material for you, and you're just becoming a student again. So very good. This is great energy to have. Especially with a Hierophant, because as the Divine Masculine, you are just being asked to just literally go into nature and just spend time being quiet, and have any firm boundaries that you need, and understand where your value is right now is something to being heard. Because something we saw come up last week was around like not being financially stable, and so maybe part of that is understanding the shadow work of what it means to be a student and how you value your time, especially like how are you prioritizing it. How often are you spending those moments alone, thinking and planning are such essential hours to our day that we don't often get like paid for, and that some people, so you have to change your concept of value just to start planning your day and being more intentional. So take that as you will. And then next we have some Pegasus cards. Okay, and so we have Pegasus of the Sun. So right away, Spirit is coming through like, yes, you are the divine masculine. Everything that you are working on is going to not only be successful. Wow, we're having issues with speaking today. See, you know, what did I say? Having issues with saying and expressing our words into the external. So it's literally coming through in this reading. Anyways, so with the Pegasus of the Sun, though, this is confirmation, though, that what you are working on is going to be benefiting you and those around you, and you are going to find so much success. I'm hearing you're going to find so much like light and love and like the goals that you want and the intentions that you want, not just for yourself but for the world. That what you're studying, these are going to lead to your path. So whatever any doubt that you're having, this is confirmation coming in from Spirit saying that you can take this energy of the sun and as your own power, because that is who you are. So like I just heard, like, you know how people like wish upon stars, like you can wish upon the sun. That is like I personally believe probably a very true statement for a divine masculine energy, because we often have it represented between the sun and moon, right? So this is again just more confirmation that you are going to be within your element. Do not confuse yourself and do not think that you are within an illusion, because even if you are the only one who's aware of it. Like if you're the only one standing around in nature talking to yourself, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. In fact, most of the time it means you're more right, right? And then with that, we do have the Mandela of Pegasus coming out. So this one really wanted to come out for this reading as well, which is interesting. So this is Spirit confirming that you do not see everything that is happening right now. There's a lot of things that are working in the background, and divine timing is working at its best. So again, Spirit coming in saying just trust the process, trust that what you're learning is going to be beneficial, trust that what you're working on is meant to be for you, and trust your inner wisdom. So that's what I'm hearing again. So trust that if you need to take that extra time for yourself, that you can do that, that you have that time to do that. That's very important. You have the time to take those pauses, to take those breaks. And now we have one final one. Okay, so we're having Pegasus of the Eclipse coming up. So literally Spirit is coming in twice with these Pegasus saying, trust in divine timing. You do not see everything that is happening. Anything that is not within your realm is just not meant for you to know right now. So that was something too that came up in the last reading for the divine masculine, was it being all shedding all knowing into an learning mindset. And so that again is kind of coming up, like everything that you're learning right now is what you're meant for. So if you are still worried about anything that you don't know, chances are that's not something that you're actively learning about, and so why worry about it? Why let that doubt and fear come into you? Because Spirit is saying that they are working on everything else on the background around you. So definitely really trust in your spirits, your angels, your ancestors, any prayers or manifestations. Like I said, are you wishing upon a son? Where are you putting your strength and reliability on? They're coming through for you. Okay, no matter where you're putting it, they're coming through for you too. It's a very important message. So if you're like, oh, I'm worried that I'm giving it too much burden, or like what I'm asking for is too big, Spirit is coming through saying, no, it's really not. For some of you, you probably could ask for more, honestly. So definitely take that how it resonates. And I, again, encourage you to maybe step more firmly into like a picket fence mentality, where you have a firm picket fence, but you can still see it. Like people can visit your yard, you can exit your yard, but you very much are in your own space. So with that, this next one, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Rumi Oracle. And so I'll actually read this straight from the book. So please also excuse any pauses as we actually read. With that, let's go ahead and take a look. And so we have 39, Blessing of Zara. Blessing of Zara. Let go of thought, don't take it into your heart. You are naked and thought is like ice. You use thought to seek release from suffering and pain, while thought is the cause of your suffering and pain. The realm of creation is outside the scope of thought. O foolish one, see the opus and behold the beauty. Look in the direction from which images flow. See the brook that causes the wheel to turn. Rumi. I wish to pull that false confection from your mouth. Oh, I know you will open your mouth even wider to scream, like the terrible cry of a toddler denied. But the moment you open your mouth wide and draw breath to bemoan the outrageous travesty of your loss, I shall shove my divine finger dripping with nectar into your gaping mouth. I'll let you suckle then, surprised and contented by the sweetness that surpasses all other sweets. When we are hungry, we reach for what food is available. If we are starving, we may gorge upon what is before us, only to find ourselves overfed, undernourished, and in a most uncomfortable and dissatisfied state. Your soul needs better quality food. It has been detoxing. You have been shedding old thoughts, feelings, pains, and struggles. Memories of the past have been flooding out of your soul like parasites being expunged. And now your soul, thus cleansed, is in the need of genuine nourishment to restore it to full radiance and vitality. Love will feed your hungry soul. Nothing less shall suffice. No sweet-talking charmer hell-bent on seducing and moving on will make the grade. No, it has to be nothing less than genuine romancing by the great beloved to feed, comfort, and nurse you into radiance. Only that divine finger dipped in the heavenly honey can be taken in by your soul now. All else will seem as empty junk by comparison. But can we summon the strength to overcome habitual, mindless attempts at feeding on lesser substances? Oh yes, the great beloved shall storm through the kitchen, and with military precision clear out the cupboards, and for only the best and finest, most decadent and delicious shall do for you. This oracle comes with a special guidance for you. You are being given a blessing of Zara, of radiance, of brightness. This blessing has a purpose. It is to clear out that which would obstruct your full unfoldment to support the divine jewel of your soul in shining. You are being given an opportunity supported by life, by the earth, by the grace of divine beloved, to shed toxins from your being. These may be physical, and they may equally be of emotional, psychic, or psychological origin. They may come from this or another lifetime. You may understand consciously what is being released, or you may not. If you are sensitive, you may feel symptoms of detoxification at a physical level, even if what you are releasing is emotional or psychological in nature. You are encouraged to complete the sacred honoring ritual, to stay adequately hydrated, and to be moderate rather than excessive in your approach. Give your body and mind time to rest and replenish so that blessing can be fully received. If you have been unwell or struggling to let go of an issue, this oracle comes as a portent of immediate healing back to good health and of release of the issue into resolution and divine radiance. It is only a matter of timing, and that timing is immediate. This oracle also brings you the message that if something appears to be leaving your life, even something painful to release, it is because it is no longer healthy for you and no longer supporting of life for you. There is something more loving and beautiful awaiting. Do not try to feast upon scraps. Stop scrapping in the dirt for stale breadcrumbs. Rise up and move towards the seat at the heavenly table gleaming before you, for a great feast awaits your attendance. Sacred Honoring Ritual. Say aloud, I call upon Zara, the merciful divine one shining with grace, and Rumi who loves me without condition. I call upon the healing angels, and I say the following declaration. With grace I accept the shedding of that which is no longer worthy of me. I allow myself to release with merciful grace what no longer feeds my soul. With the truest of nourishment, I open to receive without unconditional love. I open to receive through unconditional love, healing, support, intervention, and protection, that I may shine with divine radiance bestowed upon me in this blessing. I surrender my attachment to scraps, and upon my mind, open my mind, body, and soul to the great feast. In profound gratitude, I bow to the compassion that leads me to the banquet of love now. So be it. Lie down and rest for however long you need. Healing will happen during this time, so try to rest for at least 5 to 25 minutes, more if possible. Following your rest, you may also like to have a shower or bath using a handful of regular salt as a gentle body scrub to support your psychic and physical cleansing process. Enjoy this as an act of self-love. You have finished your sacred honoring ritual. So with this one, I definitely want to pick up on the themes that we have already talked about within the reading. And so we saw there's a call yet again to rest. Allow yourself to go through this healing, and that everything that is not within your realm is no longer serving you, and to let it go in peace as you take on the new things that are coming, and to just give yourself grace. And there was so much light there, so again, it was like wish upon the sun, because that light is there for you. It is blasting away any shadows of fear or doubt that you may have. So we do still have just a couple more decks for us. So we have the Hidden Truth, coming up. So this may be something from your divine feminine, maybe something internal, or maybe just something around the situation as a whole. As we saw, there's quite a bit of secrecy, so let's see what what can be revealed for us. And so first we have, I can't do this. So interesting that that is coming out, because if anything, I think this is maybe something how you're feeling, that the truth of the situation is, and something that you're afraid to admit to yourself is that this is how you feel. And so I would encourage you to actually work on shadow work about why you feel like you can't do this, because Spirit is coming and saying if you ignore the external because they can't decide what you're capable of, what you can or can't do, then really it's just the internal, and Spirit or Source left saying are you going to be able to move forward and do this? And Spirit is saying that you have everything within you and that they are going to support you as much as possible, and any intention you set, they will help manifest into reality. So then that just kind of leaves you to really relate to this. So that's really going to be kind of your shadow work on this. We had quite a bit other shadow work come up in the last one, so probably still just more of an echo of gaining that confidence of seeing yourself as I'm hearing not only the Hierophant, but also as someone who carries the Pegasus of the Sun. Like if someone was to wish for your support, you would be able to give it to them much as the Sun does, is kind of the mentality that Spirit wants you to be able to eventually get to. They're not saying you're going to become the Sun overnight. They just mean you are a star who will be able to support others in that way, even if you don't feel like it right now. So it's just a more encouragement to give up the way that you're looking at life now. Gain new perspectives and let that fear and doubt go. And then we have, I find you so attractive. Aww. Okay, so this is actually coming up through to me is as you gain this confidence, your divine feminine, those around you, everyone, you yourself are going to be so much more attracted to yourself, and your cup in your heart is going to fill up a lot more, and you're going to literally just feel physically bright, mentally, emotionally, and that's really going to come through and shine to where people are just naturally talking to you more. I just heard maybe you have social anxiety that maybe terrifies you, so that's also something to work on, is how much do you actually want to attract attention, and maybe that's why you aren't really stepping into this full light, because you will be attractive in your full light, right? Everyone sees the suns and stars. They are always looking up at the sky and actively looking for them, and that is how bright your light will be. So you need to work on, is that what you want, and how much do you want that, and why? And then finally, I know you don't feel the same. Okay, really, this is coming up for me. This is really so much more of a conversation between you and Spirit, and Spirit saying it's okay to admit these things to yourself, because these are the things that you need to work on in order to move forward into being this divine masculine. So I'm also hearing, so you need to recognize that the people around you are not going to feel the same as you do about every single subject, maybe even most subjects, and that, again, we just got all your shadow work right here in your hidden truths, and that is just going to be so beneficial for you to kind of recognize, again, we come back to self-assurance, and recognize who you are and where you stand, and so that you feel, I'm hearing less lost, less oppressed. Maybe people are prone to putting labels on you. Maybe you struggle with when other people are how structuring your narrative. So maybe you have a very strong social media presence, but maybe not a very strong physical presence, and that bothers you in a sense. First, because there's some kind of transparency that is missing. So really what's coming through right here is that Spirit is just asking you to seek more about where your boundaries are, and to find live your authenticity more thoroughly. Again, that's why we're seeing maybe you need to spend more time away from those who don't feel the same as you, and not to find your validation outside, because all the validation you need is internally. And again, we're seeing from Spirit, if you are not seeing it outside, that's why you're saying I know you don't feel the same, and you're seeing that within your community, your family, your friends. That is okay, because Spirit is saying things are working around. Just don't focus on those people, then focus on what you're studying, what you're working on, what you do believe in, and what you do stand for. Okay, and then we do just have some nice affirmation cards for us. So we have, your potential is limitless. Yes, definitely. Just take that with you wherever you go, whenever you're not feeling it. Say it in the mirror. when you're doing your shadow work, write it at the end of your journaling if that's the practice you choose. Shout it whenever you're feeling mad. Whatever suits you. And then we have, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So this is Spirit kind of coming in, just like confirming that this is really why you're seeing these outside irritations, is because you're needing to kind of go into this seclusion. We see the butterfly. You're needing to go into the seclusion to become the caterpillar into the butterfly. I actually think we brought up that metaphor in the last Divine Feminine reading. So very interesting correlation that we're talking about, like, this is now the Divine Masculine is needing to go into their chrysalis stage, which that can be a very painful stage and a very isolating stage. And so this is just something you have to keep in mind as you go through your changes, but also understand that your potential is limitless, and part of your potential is changing, right? What I mean by that is potential doesn't stay potential, it changes in order to become success. And so that is exactly what you are and what you're working on right now. With that, my Divine Masculine Collective, I'm going to go ahead and leave your reading here. I want to thank you again for being here, and I wish you the utmost luck and support. And feel free to like and subscribe as it resonated with you. Comment below anything that stood out or gained support from a community of some like-minded people here. And I will see you guys next time. Blessed be.